Hello, Toronto! I am so excited to have you on the lunch party. Of course, I would like to welcome you all to this wonderful show. This is Toronto12CHAT, and our goal is to deliver you the best, excellent entertainment, especially during your lunch break. And I know the work week is so stressful, and sometimes you just need to let it all out. So, that's why I'm here. Okay, we gotcha. And so I'd like, of course, first of all, to introduce you before we begin this podcast, the guests. So, by the way, my man here, all the way from...
I'm from I got him from here. This is Christon, live on location, representing Finch and Weston, the Rexdale area. That's where I'm
Woo!
at.
Toronto!
I've been knowing him for a little while, kind of like since we got in this program together, since, from school, being big on film, big on content creation, catch me playing ball, catch me find cool sneakers, all that stuff. And then my man's right here.
My name's Daniel. I live in West Toronto. I'm 20 years old, and I like to write, and I like to play sports.
Ooh, this is getting hyped. I love the energy right now. And so, before we go off topic, let's get right into the topic before it burns the heck out of us.
All right. What you got? What you got in store?
Okay, so welcome to the first topic, and the first topic is, of course, as you saw in the intro, the 10 years look back and forward.
Okay.
You want to look back and forward?
Sure. I mean, sound very philosophical, you know what I'm saying? Sound very philosophical, very interpersonal, whatever that quote was. I ain't sure.
Back and forward.
Back and forth. You can do the dance right now. I was just kidding. Okay, so the first question before we get into this wonderful topic, tell me more about yourself. I'm so interested in all y'all,
Yeah, all right.
I'm your biggest fan.
All right. With me, obviously, when I started, right before doing anything in terms of content creating or film or anything, I was big on basketball, big on hooping. That was all I wanted to do, all I ever really cared doing. Even being a part of, the program that we were in school, and we're still in, is that I still want to be connected to the game that I love and appreciate. Me and my friend, we started up a YouTube channel that we wanted to talk about various sports, but obviously it's basketball. It's basketball for me. And then outside of that is just kind of like, I like the idea of having a voice. One big thing I've been enjoying is watching player podcasts, athlete podcasts, and the reason is 'cause I like the idea of controlling your own narrative, so you don't let anyone control it for you.
Exactly. Big
so
time.
that's how I always see stuff. So.
Wow. So
Yeah.
your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Let's get right into that. So how long or how much did it take to build that YouTube channel?
So the idea was pretty weird because I remember me and my friends sitting her up, and I'm like, hey, yo, look, all these conversations we be having by ourselves, we be rambling on for hours. I feel we can condense this and make it something. And my whole idea is if you liked it, someone out there is probably gonna like it just as well. There's an audience for everyone. There's literally enough for everyone to eat. So
exactly.
My thought was, okay, let's think about it critically. We need to first have something that brands us, something that's identifying us. Yeah. And it was very weird. It was we tried to make a iced coffee cup and with just our name on it. And I made it in Photoshop. It was at 2 a.m. when I did that. And then after that, I already knew how to record my own audio. I knew how to master my own audio for the most part. And I'm like, okay, all I need to know is the presence, the delivery, because a lot of times it's not even, you know, from what we do in this program, a lot of it isn't just about like what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
And the audience are trying to say it too.
Exactly.
Because if it's falling on deaf ears, you know, you could went Dr. Dre on everything, but no one's hearing it, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So that's just kind of how it started. So my idea was always like kind of seeing the landscape, but also knowing,
man.
How do you make a delivery of it? How do you make the approach of it? And how do you make it something that people are going to want to stay and keep watching? So that was right on the process of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, working hard for that,
Yeah.
How do you feel the current state of that podcast that you have?
Right now we're in early development again, because when I first had the idea of it, we were all like still in high school. We were all like kids and thinking, okay, this is how it's gonna work. Now obviously as we get older, all of us, we have different responsibilities. So the right now our biggest thing is getting people together to do it.
Exactly.
But like I always think the idea is once we get our foot in the door, then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
So when we get there, it's just from the jump. It's always gonna be a vibe when it comes to me and Mike. Because at the end of the day, it's like I don't even look at this podcast. It's literally, I'm just talking with my friends. The only difference is that there's a microphone right there. So like,
there you go.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's
man.
really all it is.
Yeah, man.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
I think we should buy the big microphone, just place it in the middle.
Yeah,
It
like,
looks
seriously.
like a podcast right there.
Seriously.
So, I know you now.
Yeah.
It's time for your showtime.
Yeah. I've known you for quite a while, since we were 14.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's been so long.
Yeah. Forgot for a minute. Yeah. But my name's Daniel. I'm 20 years old, and I like to write music. I like to write stories. I love to play sports. My favorite sport to play is soccer. I played academy when I was 15, 16. And for a while, that's what I wanted to do. But now I really want to get into the business world. And being a young 20-year-old, you really do see a lot. You see how many risks the guys at the top have to take to be there, and things like that.
100%. So, of course, in your business, what are you thinking the role? What role what role do you have in your mind?
What role do I have in my mind?
Yeah,
So eventually, when I'm at the point where I've like expanded and I'm at the top, my idea is to be kind of like a shadow man.
Yeah.
Like somebody who doesn't run the restaurant, just takes all the money. right. Just like manager, and then I'm like the owner that like comes in and like takes the money and kind of like maybe funds the place.
Yes.
Yeah, but then the manager just kind of manages. So I kind of want to be like the shadow guy, the guy that's not really there, kind of thing.
Wow. You just want the money, right? The free money? So, with that money, what do you plan to do with that money? Do you want to get a big mansion in Toronto? What are you looking at?
Probably more up north, but yeah.
Like what?
I would probably buy a property in Toronto, because
Okay.
some of it, but I wouldn't want to have property everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And with that money, I would probably spend it on the nice stuff, planes, cars,
Yeah, man.
that kind of stuff, houses, but obviously like give some to my family,
Exactly.
and give some to charity as well,
Yeah, man.
right? And because I believe like, and honestly, I would help out small businesses, right?
Exactly.
I believe that
They need support.
the world is in a really cold place right now, and it takes people who can do something about it,
Exactly.
right, with that power and that knowledge to do something about it.
Exactly. Sometimes, people with big ideas, sometimes they just need support. They just need the lending hand, and
I agree.
I'm so happy that that's what you stand for.
Yeah.
And that's also what I stand for, and I think you also stand
Of
for
course,
that.
of course, of course.
Okay, so wonderful introduction, people. Wonderful introduction. Okay, let's get deeper. We're going deeper in the
Do it.
roller coaster. So it's 10 years of something. What would you say got you into this point in your life, like where you are now, and what do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I'm. It's kind of unique because how what got me here is simply just always my case of I ain't gonna fix it on something until I get there.
Yeah,
Like
man.
my always beliefs, and this is one of the best quotes I've heard. My dad has kind of always reciprocated this to me. He's like, just we think too much when we look at to the skies and we aim for the stars. We forget what's supporting us, the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that we still have things to do. So my whole thing is I don't focus too much on something until I get to that something.
Yeah, man.
And I always my mindset is so that's kind of how it is. Like when I was playing basketball, whether it was in AU or it was high school, just while I was playing football in high school as well, it was just always just okay. This is what I'm thinking. Then when I got into into the content creation and being in front of the camera, I remember having just a conversation with my brother. I was like, man, there's a lot of talented players in this city. I played against some of them. I've seen them up in person. There's talented players in this city. Toronto has. I will.
Get out.
I'm putting.
Which players?
So when I was in high school, I remember a player that came to my there was this kid. He played on Team Canada's under-19 team with RJ Barrett that won gold. I forgot his name, but he was one of the nicest players. He had 30 on us at halftime. It was incredible. It was incredible work.
So hyped for this now.
It was incredible work. And obviously because of just the school I went to, we played a lot of talented teams. I remember, like I met Tyler Ennis. If you people know, Tyler Ennis was a NBA player. I think he's currently playing overseas right now. I know. Shout out to his little sister. She's doing her thing up at Rice University right now. I remember seeing his dad because he's the coach at Orangeville Prep. So it was kind of just everything. It was unique when I was seeing it up close. And I remember we got talented players.
Yeah,
There's
man.
players that are all over the city, but they need a voice. They need to be able to. People need to be able to see
Exactly.
they see the talent. So I'm like, I want to be able to at least capture that moment so we can get more of these talented kids. And this is not me shading the JUCO system. I love the JUCO system. Worked plenty for many good talented players.
Yeah, man.
But some of these kids are Division I college talent. They need to be there.
Exactly.
And they need to at least have the platform for people to see it. And that was my whole thing. So it was me honestly seeing that there's something that could be done here about how we market our beautiful city and our beautiful culture of sport to everyone else. And then 10 years from now, I hope that's something I'm still doing. I hope I'm still doing something like that because my whole thing, I want to be connected to the sport that has given me so much joy, so much happiness, kept me safe for a long time in my life. I wanted to keep doing that, but also expand my own brand as who I am and also bring as much of my people I can get there with me. But as that is just, I'll cross those bridges when I get to those bridges.
All right, here you go.
So 10 years for what got me here today and then 10 years in the future.
That's right.
I would say definitely what got me here today was my personality, where I'm so kind. I'm a very caring person, and I'm a very I listen a lot. I notice that I tend not to speak a lot, but I'm always listening. I'm always gaining that knowledge, and I'm always gaining that information.
That's amazing.
And that's kind of what got me my job at my old place, and what got me into business is gaining knowledge, knowing how to negotiate with others. And I believe 10 years ahead, I could be somewhere really good. I could be in a good spot, and I will be in a good spot. And yeah.
Wow. So wonderful future lying ahead of you.
Yeah.
And my man here,
Yeah.
you know, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So, of course, another question I would love to ask both of you, you know, I don't know how you would answer this question
All right.
because it goes into a much deeper level.
Okay.
But you
No
know,
issues. No issues.
growing up, what would you say the best part of your childhood and teenage years were, and and if you had any struggles, and if you do have any struggles, what were those struggles, and how did you overcome them?
All right. All right. You want to start with me? Okay. Okay. You know, it's unique because growing up in Rexdale, it's like, it's funny because it's a community where all of us were together. We're all like everyone kind of like knew everybody. We knew each other. Like, you know, walk across the street, that lady right across the street that has her son that you probably go to school with.
Wow.
You treat her like you treat her like she's your family too. So it's like it was kind of like always a family environment, but obviously growing up in that type of environment, you see a lot of stuff that you shouldn't really be seeing. You're playing basketball, you're playing sports with people that you probably shouldn't be playing sports with. Like these, like so, you know, going more into it, like I've seen fights break out. I've seen kids jump into gangs. I've seen like people get set up. I've seen a lot of it happen at young ages. But when you're a kid, you're not even really thinking like that way because you're just thinking, you know, this is home. Like this is how you felt comfortable. And the contrast was I had a cousin who lived in Brampton. He lived in like a very nice area in Brampton. I don't remember the street or like really the neighboring city of it, but I remember I'd go there at least every weekend, and it was almost like night and day. It was like night and day. It was almost like a suburbia environment. Mm-hmm. So I had two different upbringings, and it brought that perspective of what else is out there. And I think that constantly going up there,
exactly,
it was obviously bringing, you know, it gave me a perspective of what that there's more out there than here. And then on top of that, you know, I think, but one of the best things about being from that area is that it created a sense of, it created this, like some of the strength and toughness that I keep to this day. Like the ability just to not only, it helped me read people, you know, read people's energy, not just like, oh, this person cool, but like, how do you treat people? How do you treat other people? How are you, like, you know? And it taught me that everyone has different sides. Everyone has a different book. You know, that kid that acting a fool in school, he might be the smartest kid when he's being able to just be to his own thoughts, but he may not be the best in that particular environment.
I agree with you with that one.
So yeah, that's my being able to be empathetic. It taught me my empathy, while also understanding what there's more out here.
Yeah, man. You know, like, I think there are some people out there that, you know, aren't being seen by many as good, but, you know, once they get into the future, you know, they're gonna be on the top, you know.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with you on what you just said, and I actually love that.
Yeah,
because it's so true. People do change, you know. Many years.
Yeah, it's changing, but it's also allowing people to, like, if you know, it taught me that everyone, you know, learns differently. Everyone has a different way of expressing their intelligence, because I believe everyone is intelligent in some way,
100%.
but it's just how it's being utilized, and maybe in a traditional school setting, it's not often the best utilization of their ability. Like, I had people that were struggling, like, to read certain things in class, but you gave them a clipboard and basketball plays or football plays, and they're reading it off like they're reading off like it's Tom Brady or LeBron. They know everything where everyone has to be. So it's about meeting people at their level, and I think that's something that it showed me a lot.
Like, you know, people like who like people learn differently. You know?
Absolutely. That's a fact.
That's your point.
That's a fact.
100%. Okay,
Yeah.
Daniel.
That kind of brings me back to a quote, actually, I read from Albert Einstein.
Wow.
And he said, everybody is a genius, but if you tell a fish to climb a tree,
I was thinking that when,
It'll-
when I was
it'll-
thinking
yeah,
that. That's what I
yeah.
was thinking. Like, for real.
yeah. Yeah. So basically, I guess I could really say that I never, like, I'll be honest, I don't think I ever really had a rough part of my childhood because, like, my parents loved me, and I always had, like, my parents to talk to whenever something happened at school or something like that. I would say I did kind of have a rough time in school at times, like with learning, because I do have a learning disability. So, but my godmother, shout out to my godmother. I love her so much. She helped me out.
Yeah. W moms.
She helped me out with a lot, and also my mom helped me out with a lot, and my dad, and even now, like, I believe that I got my smart mentality. I definitely got that from my mom, and then my hard work mentality I got from my dad. I would say that I believe what you see as a kid from a young level determines how you see things in the future, because it adjusts your paradigm,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It alternates your reality.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you use that word paradigm there. Use the right context too and everything.
I look into it, right? Yeah.